So we can measure Earth flat to a significant enough degree for the vicinity required for human life, human requirements.
Gotcha. So we're all clear. We'll be measuring Earth flat then.
You can do
Of
that.
course, it's going to be flat. It's going to be flat enough for you to utilize any construction built within that radius.
That's what a big globe predicts, especially because you're not a giant person.
That's the point of perception where you are. Of course, it's going to be flat.
Measure Earth flat. Isn't that right,
How
Dahl?
else would they measure it?
You can do that because if the curvature is insignificant
And so what's happening is you're seeing it level.
compared to your little measurement device, then sure, you can do it.
Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface.
Curvature is insignificant.
So we can measure Earth flat.
So, Eilus, are all points along the surface of a spirit level equal distance from the center of a sphere? Finish. Over.
No.
And will I correctly level my table with that spirit level? Let's say a 4-foot spirit level. Right. So that means level is no point higher or lower than another along a straight line, two-dimensional. It is not a three-dimensional drop situation like you're claiming. At each, let's say, one point at the end of that spirit level and another point at the other end of that spirit level, those points are no higher or lower than each other. Now, what you're claiming is both those points are equal distance from a center point. But when I've asked you about it concerning a spirit level, you said no. But yet you agreed that that is leveling my table. That means that is level, and what you're claiming is not level.
Imagine a universe where all of those things can be
I don't
true
need to
at the
imagine.
same time.
I don't need to
You
imagine.
don't need to imagine because that is reality.
So we're literally able to level a table in reality. We don't need to imagine universes.
I mean, yeah, that universe I described is the one we're in. All of those things are true at the same time.
How is every point along that the surface of that spirit level, how is every one of those points equal distant from the center of a sphere?
They're not.
Right, so that's the end of that then, isn't it?
It's not.
I
There's
do level
a
my
bit
table.
more to it.
There isn't.
So, yes, the table is level. And if you measured each end of it, the bubble is going to read that it's level. The precision you need for your table is, it doesn't matter about the very slight difference in distance from the center of the Earth for your table or even your house. And so what's happening is you're seeing it level, but because you're so far from the center of the Earth, even though the edges of your table are further away from the center of your table to the center of the Earth, the amount of levelness you get is precise enough for you to have a flat enough table to work on, because the size of the Earth that your table is on is so large. The precision that you are implying that you need is not actually required. So it's not required. So yeah, there is a finite amount of difference, but it's imperceptible because of the size of the Earth.
Okay, so it appears flat because it's so big. So big it's flatty. Because every point on the surface of a sphere will have a drop from every other point, a rate of drop, which you've just claimed as level is not no point higher than another, but every point lower than every other point. So you've just contradicted yourself. You agreed that they were level, and then you claimed they weren't level.
How is he? Can you define level?
I can't. I don't have the vocabulary, I guess.
You said it. You said, in Brian's example, he's measuring the table flat. Yeah? So in essence, we can measure Earth flat, but afterwards you said, but that's because it's inconsequential at the size. It's a really big ball, so therefore I just want you to reiterate that point, that we'll be okay measuring Earth flat. And feel free to apologize for why it wouldn't be measured ball-shaped afterwards. Can you just reiterate that for us? Thanks.
Vicinity significant to a human. The flatness that we can measure with a level is enough. It's precise enough. And that's all there is to it.
So it's okay, we can measure Earth flat, right?
Yes, within our vicinity, yes, we can measure flatness to a precise enough degree that is useful for our human size on this
Gotcha.
Earth.
So we can measure Earth flat to a useful degree based on our size. Can I just hear that once more?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what I said. I can agree with that.
Can you say it again?
So we can measure Earth flat to a significant enough degree for the vicinity required for human life, human requirements.
Gotcha. So we're all clear. We'll be measuring Earth flat then.
You can do that, but it only matters to your significant vicinity.
Yes.
For larger projects, if you try to
stop. Just need a yes. So it's okay. You've agreed. I was reiterating your point, and you've confirmed it. So we'll just get a yes at the end, just so we're concluded, and we can move on. It's okay. We can measure Earth flat. I just need you to say yes. It's okay. We can measure Earth flat. Just need that, and then we can move on.
Yes, we can measure the Earth within our vicinity with the tools that we have flat.
Yeah, we do. We do measure Earth flat. That's correct. That's the only way that we measure Earth. Now, I appreciate that after we measure Earth flat, you can add this little caveat about our local vicinity and apologise for why you're not measuring it ball-shaped. But we can, we do, we will, and you admit, measure Earth flat. That's exactly how we do measure Earth flat, because that's how it's measured. Now, the only assertion that we measured Earth curve came from the assertion that you decried when you said the horizon has no association with Earth curve, because the only claimed curve measurements were Earth curve measurements. Those ones you decried, no association with the horizon, remember? That was rhetorical. But meanwhile, that was claimed to be an Earth curve measurement that you could verify. It was claimed to be scientific even at some stages. But there are no Earth curve measurements. They've been thoroughly debunked, and they also require a surface level that's flat. So given that there aren't any measurements of Earth curve, and by your own words, we measure Earth flat, then we measure Earth flat. That's how it's measured. You understand that. I understand that. And that is how it is measured, and there aren't any Earth curve measurements. So welcome to Flat Earth. There aren't, in conclusion, any Earth curve measurements, but Earth is, by your understanding and everybody else's, definitely measured flat. Welcome to Flat Earth. That's how it's measured.
Thanks for the welcome. I still do not believe the Earth is flat. There is much...
Stop. Nobody gives two shits what you, the lying glurf, believe. Stop him. Nobody gives a shit what you believe, you pathetic lying glurf. Your beliefs are inconsequential to us, you stupid monkey. We don't care what you believe. Meanwhile, I'll go with what you just told me. We measure Earth flat. Now, that's not based on any belief that you, the stupid glurf, has, or what you concern yourselves about other people's beliefs. That's a bleeding measurement, you stupid glurf. I'll just take the measurement and ignore all beliefs beyond those measurements of Earth that are flat. Because there aren't any curve measurements. And the only curve measurements that used to be claimed were derived from a surface level that's flat and had eye level parallel with it. I mean, it took 9 attempts and we still didn't get a concession from your law of contradiction violation, non-contradiction, which is to say you said level was equidistant. It isn't. That's a glurf lie from a scumbag, the one that remained calm whilst lying about the fallacies we didn't use. But meanwhile, Brian was keen to get his curving a waypoint in, but I'm pretty sure I've taken the glorious victory here by having this man tell us how Earth is measured flat with those very words. He then went on to tell us about his glurf belief that he had after the fact, after measuring Earth flat by his own words. Well, we'll just take the measurements, son. We okay to just stick with the measurements and ignore your stupid glurf belief? We cool with that? We'll just use the measurements, right? The flat ones? Because that's how it's done. Earth is flat. That's how it's measured for everybody, including this glurf scummy liar.
Stay stupid, Nathan.
No, we don't stop.
Ad hom.
Of course it's going to be flat. it's going to be flat enough for you to utilize any construction built within that radius.
That's what a big globe predicts, especially because you're not a giant person.
That's the point of perception where you are. Of course, it's going to be flat. You have to work with some sort of solidification.
This angle acquisition because Earth's so big that it's okay to measure Earth flat. Isn't that right, Dahl?
How else would they measure it?
You can do that because if the curvature is insignificant compared to your little measurement device, then sure, you can do it.
Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface.
Curvature is insignificant.
The Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface.
Curvature insignificant.
Since you just talked about elevation angles, the Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface. That's what a big globe predicts, especially because you're not a giant person.
The curvature is insignificant
with a flat Earth.
How else would they measure it?
The Earth is supposed to look pretty horizontal on its surface.
Flat. Be flat enough for flat. You be flat enough for flat. You be flat.
That's all there is to it.
So it's okay, we can measure Earth flat, right?
Yes, within our vicinity, yes, we can measure flatness to a precise enough degree that is useful for our human size.